Hello, welcome to InSight. I'm glad you could join us today because we're talking about community gardens. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
And our guests today have a lot to do with Marion Polk Food Share's community gardens. One, Leanna Dickerson. Hi, Leanna.
Hi.
She is in charge of the gardens program, the community garden programs, and a volunteer garden coordinator, Carol Burks. Hi.
Good morning.
This is the Marion Polk Food Share. You give away food. What's this about community gardens?
Yeah, community gardens are a different part of our program that really serves our same mission of making sure that everyone has access to food. So community gardens are a space where anyone can come together and be able to grow their own food in their own communities.
And part of that goes back to the food share. How does that work?
Marion and Polk counties,
Yeah.
and in both of those counties we have about 68 gardens, and that grows a little bit every
68?
year. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it stretches
gosh.
all the way from, we have gardens in Grand Ronde, all the way up to Mill City. We have gardens in Woodburn, and of course all around the Salem area.
And where are these properties associated with churches? Are they private properties? Or is it a mix of
It's a
all
little
kinds
bit of mix
things?
of everything.
Okay.
We have some community gardens that are on city property, that are in parks, that are on church properties. We even have some on private land that has been given to us to be able to use to be able to grow food.
Carol, you're with the Whittam Community Gardens. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved.
I went to Marion Polk Food Share. I'd been in the corporate world as an office dweller, and then I went as an independent owner with flexible hours, and I went to the food share and said, "What can I help you with?" Thinking I'm going to pack food boxes. And they said, "We need help in our community greenhouse. We need somebody to water." And I said, "But I'm not a gardener. What else have you got?" And they said, "You don't have to be a gardener." Well, fast forward, I ended up being in charge of the volunteers at the greenhouse, and at the end of the season they said, "Well, in exchange for volunteering, you get all these flats of vegetables." And I said, "But I'm not a gardener."
See, we have a treat for you all. We actually went to Whittam Community Garden and got some video of, well, just to take everybody there.
That'd be great.
Why don't we do it?
Get in our carrot mobile and
That's
drive.
right. Road trip. Let's go.
Sounds good.
Hard work, huh?
Yes, it is, actually. But it's good. It's good.
Wow. Good morning.
Good morning. We're in Whittam Community Garden, and we're in Kaiser, Oregon. We have 40 beds here at Whittam, and the majority of our gardeners are growing for Samanka Women's and Children's Center. We are also growing for Marion Polk Food Share. Mike is from St. Edward's Church, and they have 2 beds in our garden.
Hi, Michael. Hello. What you got cooking in here? Show me.
Okay, well, I've got lettuce, different varieties, which turned out a lot better than I thought they would. My partner, Henrietta, is the one that picked these out, so she did a good job. We've got some green beans, and we've got some cucumbers. And one of the parishioners actually started those in her greenhouse and then gave them to us, and we planted them. So it's really a group effort.
I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by it because they think you need a lot of experience, and you really don't. I've had first-year gardeners that come to me and say, "I have no idea what I'm doing," which I love those because 3 years ago that was me. It's empowering to people to be able to provide for their families. That's the one thing I really, really love about the food share is instead of just handing them a food box, it's teaching them how to grow food for their families and also for them to be able to share and donate.
I love the community garden. I think it's a wonderful cause, as well as getting everybody together as a group to do this. It gives everybody a chance to be a part of, sharing.
I love it because it's an opportunity to help people in a tangible way. It's really wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's hard to believe that was just a blank piece of ground before the garden was there. So what other kinds of things do people that get involved in community gardens get to experience beyond just the nuts and bolts of gardening?
Yeah, not just produce and being able to grow your own food,
Right.
but community gardens have become more of a space to bring people together. One thing that I'm really invested in is bringing educational opportunities to our community gardens. So for instance, we recently had a workshop that was just on soil, and so people got to learn more about what they're doing and get more of an education piece to it. But it's also a place where people just come together. We have all different walks of life coming into the same space and having conversations and learning from one another. I know some of our community gardens even have community events and picnics and
Wow.
cultural events, and recently there was a garden with a bike rodeo. So it becomes like this hub of bringing people together in a
wonderful.
really unique way.
Well, and people are growing really interesting things too.
Yes.
It's not just, your sort
Yeah,
of basic.
You notice the variety of things
Yeah.
being grown in the Whittam
You
garden.
definitely have a, what's that over there in your bed? Or what are you growing?
Yeah.
And then they can give each other helpful tips, I notice.
Right. With my gardeners, I try and put somebody that's inexperienced right next to a master gardener.
Ah.
But there's really, really
That's
awesome.
what I would need.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, right, that's what I would need.
And they just walk through it with them.
That's wonderful.
You really do kind of make it easy for people to say, I can do this? Mm-hmm. How?
Yes.
How do you make it easy for someone who just has never planted anything? How do you start?
I tell brand new people coming in, as soon as you put that plant in dirt, you're a gardener. But with
Love it.
time comes experience and wisdom, and as you do this, you'll get more experience.
Do you have seed giveaways and things like that help?
Yeah, part of Marion Pool Food Share's connection with the gardens is being able to allocate resources, and we do have seeds available each season that we're able to offer to our community gardens specifically. And we have donations of beautiful plant starts that weren't going to be sold but can go into gardens and be able to flourish and produce food.
And how does this help with your overall mission of no one goes hungry? How does it help with that mission?
Yeah, it's beyond just offering the food and offering sustenance, but teaching people how to create that sustenance themselves. And that's not just a thing that creates food for themselves, but creates a sense of pride too. And I know, at least when I was a kid, and even now today, I go out in the garden and it's like, oh, I can pick raspberries and eat them. It just feels good. There's something about that. Young and old can experience that for themselves, and I think that's important here in Salem.
Well, and this is kind of an extension also of your food box program, because I remember the last time I went out there, they were overhauling that so that it wasn't just like, well, we're sticking food in a box, but they really looked at the nutritional content of the food that was going in there, and they were making sure that they were healthy, good foods. Not that they weren't before, but just that they had that really on their minds. And so then
Yeah, and the
adding fresh
information
vegetables.
as a part of it too, to teach people how to use those things
Yeah.
and understand the importance of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
How do people learn more about the Community Gardens program at the Food Share?
Our website actually has some really great resources, including a map where you can see where all of our community gardens are in the Marion Polk counties, and to be able to get contact information for each of our garden coordinators like Carol. So you can go and look and see where a garden is near you and get connected right away.
That's great.
Oh, it was such a fun time out at Whittam. I just can't imagine what fun it would be to actually be one of those people looking, I grew that. I grew that.
We do have a spot available.
I was just going to say.
Let me
In
give
all
you my
your
card.
Free time, Wendy, you could be out growing.
I may take you up on that. Thank you so very much for being our guest today. This was really informative and fun. And thank you. I'm glad you could join us today. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.